Hey everybody, welcome back to Woodness Goodness. I'm your host, Graham, and right now we are bouncing between two projects. One, the mobile bar, which I'm still working on, but I just have got to wait for the weather to be just right before I paint and prime, etc., etc. And there's some detail stuff that I'm working on, getting new tires and wheels and stuff, and it's just taking a little longer than expected. But content is king, and you guys are my kingdom. And so I am just going full steam ahead. We're making more stuff, and now we are making a teardrop camper because I am in the middle of possibly buying some land. And when I build a new cabin, I'm gonna need somewhere to sleep and hang out since the property is not that close to my house. Behind me, we have the Harbor Freight 4x8 1,720 pound trailer. Bought it for $450, and this is gonna be the platform for the teardrop. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it and start building this thing. So after we built the trailer, I realized that there's this gap here. And in order for this bolt to be completely tight and, you know, get a nice tight fitment in there, some of you guys mentioned I should put some washers in there. So I thought that was a great idea. So I'm gonna take these bottom bolts out and add a couple washers so everything's super snug and tight. We might end up having to put a little Loctite on these, but for now we're just gonna well, that looks pretty professional. Huh. What do you think about that? I kind of like that. Oh, it is kind of bent. All right, so I've decided I'm not gonna put two washers, I'm just gonna do one. Sweet. So I got my 1/4 inch, well actually it's a little less than 1/4 inch. Guys, this is a test. If you don't think this is gonna work, that's okay. Like Bill Nye the Science Guy, I'm here to prove you wrong. We're gonna make it work. Okay, this is not the base. I got two pieces because, well, I just want to get after it and I want to start cutting my shape. I want it to be rounded at the front so when you're towing it, it's not cutting into all the air. And then I want a little bit of slope at the back because I've seen some cool overlanding teardrops that have that little slant at the back end. And I just don't want it looking really boxy and unattractive. I want this thing looking sleek and divine, okay? I really don't know if 4 feet is tall enough. You know, if the sides are 4 feet, obviously that's the easy thing to do because then I don't really have to add on any plywood. But if you know, that's 4 foot right there. I'm just sitting up in my teardrop. Wow, look at all that headroom. It's pretty reasonable. Enough planning. We have to just go for it and see what happens. Yep, we're not sure. We're not sure if this is a good idea or not, but I feel like I just gotta go for it. I've got this idea in my mind. Well, we're gonna use our extremely precise measuring device here to get a nice round front edge. Oh wow, that is really nice. There you go, boy. We're gonna do a little bit bigger of a round over here. That's a little nicer. I like that. We want this to be streamlined. Well, by changing that angle, we probably just removed 10 square feet. Wow, look at that. It looks so fast. It's too late to turn back now. This was like $50 worth of wood. And what do you think, Reese? What do you think? Look at this. Look at, what do you think? You like this design? Jackson? You're hungry? Is that what you want? So, there's this really cool Teardrop Overland camper I've seen before, and they have a solar panel angled on the back. Depending on the angle of the trailer, I can really maximize the southern exposure for solar. How do we like them apples? Hey, you helping Dada? Here you go, take a pencil. Give her a little sand. Well, that's kind of cool. So we're gonna roll the trailer out so we have enough room in here to actually build the teardrop shell. So. Okay, I think the next step, in no particular order, is to bring the wood in here to make my base. And this will be an insulated, sandwiched with ribs and insulation base. What do you think, Reese? So basically Reese came here to help me out a little bit. I've been teaching her how to sand, etc. I mean, to be a semi-professional amateur, I mean, it doesn't take much. So she also mentioned I should make the teardrop trailer a foot wider than the trailer itself. So again, it's a 4x8 trailer, and we're gonna make it so it's 5 feet wide. We're gonna have to elevate it a bit to get over those tires, but the main shell is gonna be 5 feet wide. And so we're gonna worry about the elevation after the fact. So we're gonna cut these two pieces at 5 foot width to, you know, make that base. The inside will be a little smaller than 5 feet by the time we get our insulation walls up, but we're just gonna keep moving forward. Isn't that right, Reese? Okay, just leave it there. Dada's gotta measure. Okay, 5 foot there. Okay, you gotta just hold it on the, that's right, so close. All right, we're gonna just hold it right there. Oh, I took my pencil. No. Oh, right here, Reese. Bring it here. You're doing a really good job. Right here, right here. Ta-ta-ta. Here you go. Oh no, oh no. Okay, at this point, who cares, right? Do 5 feet there. We gotta double check all this. 60. All right. We're freehanding it because we're baller. I say we, but you guys have nothing to do with my bad decisions. I mean, that's like a factory cut right there. In classic fashion, I realized in order to make a sandwich, you need the top, the bottom, and the filling. Well, I got the filling and I got the bottom, but I didn't get the top. So we're gonna look in my garage here where I just collect stuff that I probably will never use, but think I might use, and see if I might indeed have something that I will use. Look at what we got here. All right, I'm pretty sure this is where my lumber, okay, that'll be for the floor. Okay, this looks like 3/8. I mean, that's just a wild guess, but obviously if I say it looks like 3/8, some of you guys will believe me and be impressed. Yes. That's like $30 right there, maybe 40. I found a bunch of pine, some rough sawn 1x12. I've got a ton of them, and I think it would be perfect to cut them all into strips to make the ribbing for the trailer. So between the 2 layers of plywood and that grid of 1x2 or whatever we end up cutting, plus the insulation, adhesive, and some anchors of some sort, that will be strong enough. Because we are planning, or I'm planning on wrapping this whole thing in fiberglass essentially to keep the weight down, but make it super strong. And on top of the fiberglass, I want to do bed liner because I think it looks cool, it's super rugged, and ultimately it's a pretty easy way to paint it black. That's what I'm thinking right now. So we're gonna set up the table saw and start cutting some ribs. I'm calling these ribs, okay? Just, I don't know what they are, but you and I know what we're talking about when I say ribs, right? Do you guys remember when we like cleaned the workshop, sort of, kind of? This is why it gets so disastrous. Because anytime I decide to work on a project, things just get crazy in here. So this is it. This is the basic footprint. Look at all this room. 1 person, 2 person, 3 person. Next step is to throw the ribs on. Look at that. That's a rib. That's a rib right there, baby. Woo! That's a good looking rib. All right, we are gonna break up the middle ribs probably 3 sections over here, and then a staggered different one in the middle, and then the outside will repeat the same pattern here. So we still have to get some 1x2 around the perimeter, and then like I said, we're gonna cut some more. But for now, this is great because the 18-inch piece of insulation here will give us our proper gap here. So we will be off to the races. Really don't know the best way to do this, so we're just gonna see what this does here. Whoa! That didn't work. I'm not sure why, but sometimes the first shot of the stapler, it's like it's not pressured yet. And that's why that happens. I'm using these clamps to keep it tight up against my 18-inch insulation. Man, that's not bad. That might be one of the smartest things I've ever done. Ha! I love it! figure if the glue is in all the corners, when the foam gets in there, it'll force it into all the corners and it'll come up and just seal that, you know? I mean, you just don't know until you try, right? That's insulated. It's like airtight. Wow, this is really coming together. All it took was building a cabin and half a mobile bar to learn a lot. Because this is a 5x8 base, and I bought a 4x8 piece of 2-inch rigid foam, I don't have enough, right? So I had some scraps left over of when I insulated the cabin roof. A lot of people don't know that I insulated the cabin roof, but I did with this stuff. So I don't love it. There's a couple little pieces in here, but honestly, it's free. I'm reusing, recycling, and it's a super tight fit. So we're gonna go ahead and glue these in place. Bob's your uncle. Alright, before we mess around with it anymore, we're gonna let this glue set up. And I'm gonna go have a nice cold bevy.